Hey everyone, this is Al Rainey, aka Dusty Brick Brown, with the Comic Calling Roundtable discussion, and I'm bringing to you another episode of Off the Rack. This one is basically going to be geared towards the younger or newer comic book collector. I've been collecting comic books for quite some time. I actually started collecting comic books when I was 12 years old, and was collecting strong till about my mid-20s. And I got a little old for it. At least I thought that I was too old for it, and I ended up selling my collection. And needless to say, I got back into collecting comics in my mid-30s. I'm in my late 40s now, but I got back into collecting comics in my mid-30s, around 33, 34 years old, and I've been collecting ever since. I've been very fortunate when it comes down to my collection. I actually came across through a couple of friends of mine. Shout out to Nick Hardy, and rest in peace to Anthony Washington. I knew these guys back in Columbus, down in Columbus, Georgia, when I worked for a company called Aflac. But anyway, comic book fan. So we basically started going to this store called the TikTok Shop. Anthony found out about it one day. This particular store is crazy. It's an amalgam of a watch repair clock shop. They sold watches, clocks, and the guy also sold comic books, baseball cards, action figures, the whole nine. His name was Mr. Tucker. Him and his wife, very nice couple. But anyway, they were getting rid of a bunch of comic books. They had a surplus of comic books, and I probably post the books or photos of the store on Instagram, perhaps today. My IG is Dusty Brick Brown, by the way, on Instagram. But anyway, they had books that were half off, and what I mean by half off, if there was a sticker on the book that had $5 on it, you would get that book for $2.50. If the book did not have a sticker on it, like on the bag, then whatever the cover price of that book was, you would get half off of that. So if the book was $1.25, you would get that book for 62 cents or something like that. Nonetheless, we racked up, and I ended up getting a gang of X-Men books. And knowing what I know now about the comic book game, my thing is that I've always collected comic books to read and to collect. I have a few comic books that I want to actually put away, slab, that type of thing. But 95 to 98% of my collection, and I said this on the last video that I did, is for just enjoyment, leisure. I have a little bit over 6,000 comic books right now, and counting, of course. But I actually, we racked up, and a lot of books that I got now in my collection, I got then for like highway robbery. As Matt Odom likes to say, pennies on the dollar. If I got back into collecting, and I don't know where that sound came from just then, but if I got into collecting today, a great deal of the books that I have, I wouldn't have, because X-Men keys, X-Men back issues in general are just crazy. Even for non-key books, in a good condition, a mid-grade, anywhere from $20 to on up. And this is for like the Silver Age stuff. Don't Let It Be a Key, first appearance of Havoc or Lorna Dane, or God forbid, the first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. The oldest book I have in my collection is X-Men #2, the first appearance of the Vanisher. But God forbid if I got into the game today, because it would be, I wouldn't say impossible, I would have to be making six figures for the most part to be where I am right now. Now, I not only have Uncanny, but also collecting the first run of X-Men Volume 1, Excalibur, New Mutants, X-Force, those type, in addition to other books, new books that come in too, as far as pulls. So I would not be in the position that I am right now had I started collecting maybe a year or two ago. So I'm very thankful and fortunate that Anthony, again, rest in peace, that he found this store. Now, if I had known what I know now back then, I would probably have a ton more books. But, my mentality is that I get what I want, and that's what I want is what I want. If it's something else, then it's all good. And I came across some bangers back then. The guy had the first appearance of Superboy. I passed up on it. He had some old Bone books that I wasn't into that kind of stuff. But hindsight is 2020. But I say all that to say this: for those who are getting into the comic book game, if you are in the comic book game, you have all types of people in the comic book game. And specifically, you have two types of people. You have people to collect. Actually, a couple. About three. You have people that collect because they love collecting things and they love to read, what they have. You also have those who collect to flip, to make money, which is, that's just part of the course. That goes with any hobby. And then you have those that just collect for the sheer purpose of having a particular book. I read about a guy, he has every #1 issue of every Marvel Silver Age book. And if I'm not mistaken, he has some Golden Age books as well, like Timely Comics, Marvel Comics #1, and he just has them displayed. So you have those type of people. So, but whatever you decide to do in terms of comic book collecting, make sure that you're doing it for you. Don't try to compete with anybody. Don't try to be, keeping up with the Joneses, because, when you do that, you end up putting yourself in a position to where, you chasing that carrot at the end of the stick, the proverbial carrot. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't, then, it's all good. But don't be in that position where you feel like you have to do it because of this person or, that person. Or if you know someone that's been in comic books for a long time and you just now started your interest, that light is sparked and your light bulb has gone off in your head. Don't be in a position to where you're trying to keep up or catch up with whomever, Now, if you have the resources, if you have the money, by all means, knock yourself out. But even if you do have the money, be smart. There's some people out there, both online and in comic book stores, that will attempt to take advantage of you and attempt to rob you dry. So be careful, be cautious. There's a lot of channels on YouTube that gives you some insight. Our channel is one. We have some very versed people on the panel that can provide information on how to look for books, what to look for. There are other channels out there as well. And I hope to actually link some of those channels in the description of this particular video that you could check out. Websites that you could check out, Go Collect, CBSI, Cover Price. Make sure that you're very smart in your decision making. One of our viewers and subscribers, a cool cat, Kingdom Comics, aka Tito, he is really, really fervent about giving young comic book collectors, teaching them the ropes and everything. And I commend that because, comic book collecting is a beautiful thing. It's a great thing. It's very rewarding. I feel very good. I feel good about myself whenever I pick up a comic book that I have on my wish list, especially in my Uncanny run, because I'm short like 44 issues before I have the complete run of Volume 1. So it's very rewarding to have that feeling that, yeah, I've accomplished this, and anytime I complete a run, I read that run. I've completed my New Mutants Volume 1 run. I started reading that. I'm kind of like in between, probably like issue 23 and 24 right now. But I read it sporadically. I'm not reading it like constantly. I finished my Excalibur Volume 1 run about 2 months ago. So once I get done with my New Mutants run, I'm going to read my Excalibur. two issues short of the X Factor run. But you hopefully you see a pattern. I enjoy reading comic books. I enjoy stories. Larry Crocker and one of our newest panelists, Christopher White, they're X-Men fans, and I'm a huge X-Men fan. So periodically, myself and Larry will talk via personal chat, private chat that we have, and we talk. Sometimes when we have an opportunity to get on the phone and talk, we'll talk then. I need to catch up on the new X-Men stuff. I'm way behind on that. But it's just, to me, it's just a great hobby, and you can meet cool people, which I've met via Instagram. But just to deviate back, because I'm getting off track, but whenever you do, whatever you do, when it comes down to collecting, unless you're in it for, making money, if you're in it to enjoy it, enjoy at your own pace. Do what you can within the scope and the limitations of what you have. Don't rob Peter to pay Paul. Don't borrow from Judas just to get back to Simon. I just thought of a name. But put yourself in a position where you could collect and you could collect comfortably. And never try to compete with anyone else, because that's not really the goal. I see videos and people on Instagram, and I think that's one of their things, is that they want to have certain things for bragging rights. And if that makes you feel good about yourself, then fine, do you. I'm not like that. I mean, I have some bangers, but I'm not in a position where I'm just like, hey, I got this, I got that. But everyone's not cut from the same cloth. But in any event, I just want to say, just utilize the resources again. Once this video goes up, hopefully we'll have some links in the description to a lot of the sites that you can go to get informative information. But at the end of the day, you make that decision yourself when you're out to shop for comics. So with the pandemic, it's kind of curtailed the convention scene, but a lot of people are buying. I've been buying a great bit of comic books online myself. So just do yourself, be you, do yourself, be yourself, enjoy the hobby. Don't try to be like anybody else that's out there. Do you, but do it at your own pace. But again, if you have the resources, then by all means, go out and knock yourself out. Buy that X-Men #1. Buy that Iron Man #1. Buy that John Size X-Men #1. But at the same time, just do your research and do your homework and make sure that no one's trying to fleece you. But that's it for this particular episode of Off the Rack. If you like what you hear, shoot a like down there at the bottom. Just press your mouse or the little touchpad on your PC or your laptop really gently, like it. And then subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell a friend or two about our channel. We post content pretty much every week now. We have streams on Saturdays, live streams, where we have a panel. But anyway, I've been stumbling over words this whole thing, but I hope y'all got the gist of what I was saying. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your cousins, tell your grandma if she like comic books. Check us out. And that's pretty much it for me. With that being said, this is Al, aka Dusty Brick Brown, the Comic Call Roundtable Discussion. Coming at you with another issue of Off the Rack. Thank you for your time. And my next video will be a little bit more streamlined, and I will not trip over my words. Y'all take care. Peace.